I'm not feeling so great. My sinuses are really bad. My allergies are killing me right now. So the last thing I needed to happen to me today was for me to feel emotionally fucked up. And when they kill my favorite character in Rewrite, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that. If you've been, I mean, you guys know this is week 10 at this point. Lucia is my favorite character in Rewrite. You know how much I've talked about her. And she got speared like an animal. Like, she's not, like, she can't survive. She's dead. I mean, unless they somehow, I mean, what's going on? Just, I don't know. The weirdest thing to me with this episode of Rewrite is with these types of episodes, with these types of deaths at the end, you usually get flags of, like, someone's about to die. I didn't feel like someone was about to die here, and I see my best girl get speared in the freaking heart. That's fucked up. Like, that's really fucked up. But I mean, maybe because she took Shizuru's place going to see Kotaro and everyone, I guess that's sort of a warning flag that she's gonna die, but it didn't feel like it. I mean, she was going up against this lava guy who can control a lava beast, and she was wrecking shit, using her power to destroy the forest so he couldn't create basically like a flame wall of lava against her. Just that ending. Like, I mean, that's savage. I mean, in some ways, I hope they keep her dead. Despite me loving her character, I actually want her to stay dead because it will have an impact. Like, this show having an impact with character death like this, I think would greatly improve the show. And you know how much I love the show already, but I want her to stay dead. But the thing is, there's a way for her to come back. I mean, possibly, because she's not dead yet, but then, no, she will die from that fall. She has to die from that fall. But I mean, Kotori's powers is interesting to me, because she can create these familiars, she can create these beasts. She might not be able to save Lucia, we know, but could she create a familiar Lucia? Like, that's a possibility still. I mean, because her powers are weird, because she was in an accident as a kid, she was granted her wish, and she did save Kotaro's life. Now, there's some things I want to discuss with him in a bit, but possibly could she find her body and, like, revive it as her familiar? Like, I feel like that could be a possibility, though I don't want them to do that. I actually want her to stay dead, just so it has an impact, right? I mean, because once we start reviving everyone, it could lose, you know, the powerful death fairy. No, I don't know. I just don't even know what to say to that. Like, that was just savage at the end. I should have known something was up when they were playing the end credits with the animation. Like, that's some ReZero shit right there, where if you see that, you know shit's about to go down. But that was fucking phenomenal. The overall episode, like, for the first bit, I wasn't too big fan of. Like, Sakia's stuff, I wasn't a huge fan. I wasn't really laughing. Though his whole coffee bit, you know, with Kagari was actually really amusing, where he makes this extravagant coffee, and she just is just like, tastes horrible. Because she's all about that, you know, that 55-cent, you know, can of coffee, that free cough. I thought that was hilarious. But Sakia breaks down the barrier with physical force, and, you know, it looks like he's going to be the enemy, but no, actually, he was sent by Akane and everyone to just protect him, kind of a thing. And I really like the dynamic of each of the members who are in Gaia and each of the members who are in Guardian. They don't really want to follow their organization. They want to keep their friend safe. And I really hope Kotaro just stays neutral. Like, I don't want him to side on either of these sides, because both sides seem crazy to me. Because on one hand, we have a religious bunch of freaks, and then on the other hand, we have a group who wants to destroy the world because they think the world's beyond saving, essentially. And in a lot of ways, I want him to just stay away from both of them, because they both seem batshit insane, and I'd be fine if they just kind of, you know, if he stayed away from everyone. But it was interesting when we saw a picture, which we see Kotori as well as, you know, RMC as kid, but the parents' faces are blurred out or white out. But the thing with it is Kotaro is older than he looks, because back when he was originally got his arm cut off by Kagari, back when everyone else looked like children, he looked as he is now, so he stopped aging, so who knows how old his parents are. So maybe they were doing that, so when we see members in, you know, Gaia, we can't clue into that it is his parents, possibly. That's that's why they did it like that. But I mean, there's a lot of realms of possibilities that they could go with it. My assumption is they did it like that so when we know next week's episode or the week after, when we see his parents possibly in Gaia, we don't clue into that's who they are. Like, that's the only thing that comes to mind when I see that, but we'll have to wait and see. Though Sakya does make a remark to Kotaro that if he uses his rewrite powers too much, he will lose his humanity. And that ties back into Katori because she creates familiars. So she used her ability to basically, I guess possibly, because it looked like he lost his arm. So did she like recreate an arm with her ability or something? And if he uses his ability too much, it would essentially turn his entire body into a familiar, something like that. But I mean, that was really fascinating what he says, and that how he has to be careful with it. And right after he says that, he goes back to using his claws, and I'm just sitting here like, man, I know you want to be the MC, I know you want to save the day, but you got to be careful, otherwise you're going to turn into a demon, and we can't have that, especially with, who knows what's going on, and everything's at stake. I mean, war is about to break loose. I thought this was going to be the calm before the storm, until that ending hit, and I see Best Girl get killed. Now, I know no one's going to agree with me that she was, but, it's my opinion. But that was interesting because there's so many hints. Like, each episode I go in, I'm like, there's gonna be one or two things, but this episode dropped a lot. Like, a lot of hints. Like, this was a really good episode. For the first little bit, I was kind of just sitting back like, it's alright. I mean, it is what it is, but I mean, once we get past that Harvest Fest and everything, this is interesting. But this just leaves me with so many questions. Like, I mean, Akane literally just is separating everyone to go to Kotaro. She's going to be the leader of this organization, and no one really wants to be with Gaia, it seems like. Even she doesn't want to. And I mean, she even has a conversation with Kotaro, and Kotaro tries to get his oppai touched, but he says, I won't touch it until we're back into the club. And I mean, that's probably where I should have saw the death flag coming, because saying that, and yeah, so I guess there was death flags, but I was just oblivious to them. But I mean, I thought that was a really nice, dynamic there, but, I'm just wondering where they're going with this. Like, is a bad ending at stake here? Because I feel like we're getting into one. Like, I don't think I'm going to see Kotaro die, but I do think most of the members might end up dead, or at least a couple more, because I don't know, because I mean, if Katori stays alive, possibly she could use her power to bring them back as familiars, but then again, with everything with the assassin there, she might not make it either. I don't know. I want to pose a question, because I don't know at this point what they're taking from the visual novel, because I know we're in that, new route there. But I mean, I figured they're probably still dabbling in content from the visual novel. So my question to the visual novel players, for anything that isn't from the visual novel, where do you think they're going to go with this? Because, I don't want you to say, oh, well, this was actually, as an example, say Lucia's death there, or what seems to be her death. If that was in the visual novel, don't tell me what happens afterwards. But if that wasn't in the visual novel, where do you think they're going with that? Like, things like that. Just keep it kind of, be smart with it. I mean, if it was in the visual novel or things like it, spoiler tag that. But if it's not, if this is all new content here, let me know where you think this is going, because I have a feeling that she could be revived as a familiar. That's my assumption, because she's so close to the barrier. But the thing is, she fell very far. I mean, I don't think they could find their bodies. I mean, there's so many realms of possibility that they could go with this, but about 3 episodes left, All Out War is breaking. I see a bad end in sight. I mean, this was just really good, though, and I'm really interested to see if they go the route of actually turning Kotaro from a human into one of these beasts. Like, maybe, could you imagine if he lost all of his humanity and killed his friends? Like, now that would be a twist I wouldn't see coming. But I mean, this episode is really good. I really did dig it from start to finish. After I saw everything, for the first bit, I wasn't digging it from the start. But once I saw how they kind of meshed everything together, I thought this was a great episode. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Where do you see this going? What do you think's gonna happen? And, what's gonna happen? Really, I can't say anything else past that. This is really good. I did notice some quality dips in the animation when it came to up-close faces. I mean, from a distance, you're gonna expect that, but there was some, right up close. I was kind of looking at, that's a little too jarring at times. The eyes were not proportional. It was just weird sometimes. But I mean, the content of the episode definitely makes up for it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to hit that like button to show your support, and subscribe if you're new to my channel. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.